For years, we've watched as the industry props up certain narratives, feeding the public a carefully curated version of the truth. We've heard the rumors, the whispers, the half-truths disguised as reality. But this
cancer, she is terrible. She will try to kill every great piece of relevant talent in Dallas. She will single-handedly destroy your legacy for what's really here. And the saddest part about it is the very people that made her everything that she is, she's done everything that she can do to erase them. I shouldn't have to remind people who Sean Martin is. I shouldn't have to remind people who Daniel Jones was. I shouldn't have to remind people who a lot of people are from here. I wasn't even born and raised here. Tell me something, why was I the one to post Lucky Peterson, his last performance at Louie Louie over there in Deep Ellum? Why wasn't Erica there? Why doesn't she ever show up to any of the old blues shows that they had over at Fair Park just to be there to welcome the old timers in and say, oh my God, I grew up on your music? No, she's always too good. No, she only wants to bring what everybody is now saying is the clone version of Dave Chappelle so people can come pet him once a year at her celebrity petting zoo party, the birthday party. I don't even know if that's the real Dave Chappelle. She might have picked up the fake one. I don't know. Cheap as that bitch is me, I don't think she would have paid him, and he don't go nowhere for free.
This is different. This revelation isn't just another headline. It's something deeper, something more dangerous, something that could shake the foundation of everything we thought we understood about Angie Stone's mysterious fate and Diddy's dangerous overstep. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the way power is used to silence voices. The way influence is wielded like a weapon to control the narrative. The way people, artists, legends, pioneers, are erased from history the moment they no longer serve the agenda of those in control. Cancer.
What really does make sense is that Diddy has had a long career of using pussy to trap niggas into making them do what he wants to do or using them to move them out the way. How is Faith Evans any different than Lauren London?
So I will get back on my page tomorrow, not on a Sunday, but tomorrow, and everybody know some of my secrets that I have endured over the years. Nothing to hurt anyone else. With that being said, I would advise you not to log in 30 minutes for no mess, because that's something they pull together. Just like they told y'all I was a dead girl and I'm very much alive. It's because they're looking for numbers and they want you to pay for that information. Why you got to pay for it and I'm giving it to you? For all of you that want to hear some juicy stuff, give me a thumbs up. At hand is P. Diddy. I'll take you all the way back to the early 2000s when P. Diddy had just become an intern at Uptown Records, which was housed in MCA Music, which was where I just happened to have a publishing deal as an MCA songwriter. Woo! Can we get into it, guys? Unfortunately, what I have to say in revealing what I witnessed in that time period was a very young Sean Puffy Combs that had really been busting his chops.
She is terrible. And no, I'm not just talking about the disease. I'm talking about a mindset, a poison, a force that creeps in, infects everything it touches, and leaves destruction in its wake. She preys on talent. She watches, waits, and when the time is right, she strikes, doing everything in her power to crush the next great artist before they can even rise. She will single-handedly dismantle legacies. She will erase everything great that was built before her, just to make room for her own name. And the saddest part, the most heartbreaking part,
about it or do about it. How does Common sit around and pretend like he's a prolific black rapper when all you've done is line up amazing black women to move them out of the way when they don't go the way the Illuminati wants them to go, like Lauryn Hill with his very small penis? I can see the motivation.
The very people who made her who she is, the very foundation of her success, she has done everything in her power to erase them. I shouldn't have to remind people who Sean Martin is. I shouldn't have to remind people who Daniel Jones was. I shouldn't have to remind people of the many names that shaped this city, this culture, this industry. But here we are. And why? Why are we still having this conversation? Why are we still watching as history is rewritten before our eyes? These are names that should never be forgotten. These are people whose contributions should be honored, respected, and remembered. Yet somehow, their stories have been buried. Their legacies have been ignored. Their impact, silenced. And for what? For power, for ego, for the illusion of control. I wasn't even born.
R&B singer Angie Stone has died in a car crash. We're told she had just finished a concert in Mobile, Alabama Friday, was heading to Atlanta when the van she was riding in crashed. It's still not clear why they crashed or how the other people in the van are doing. The Grammy-nominated artist was known for songs like Wish I Didn't Miss You and No More Rain. She was also a member of the female hip-hop trio The Sequence. Angie Stone was 63 years old.
We live in a world that no longer has an Angie Stone in it. That to me is absolutely wild. While I've seen a bunch of videos online talking about conspiracy theories as far as her being the only person in a 9-passenger Sprinter van to die in a horrific accident, I'm more concerned about two things. The first thing is, in December, Angie Stone went on Instagram and started talking about how Universal Music Group had taken so much of her money that she is trying to get it back and that she should not have to be doing anything other than enjoying a very well-deserved retirement. You're talking about somebody who's done hits with Moby, Snoop Dogg, written Love of My Life for Erykah Badu, basically made the entire Brown Sugar album for D'Angelo, and yet and still, she was talking in December in her kitchen about how she should have retired long ago, but they took her money. And the fact that she had to make a plea online about going after back royalties and payments that she should have had speaks to a much bigger problem. And that problem is black artists do not have the infrastructure to stop predatory record deals from happening. That's why people like Sir Lucian Grange and Clive Davis and Leor Cohen and Jimmy Iovine and others, because there's a long laundry list of these types of people who continue to take advantage of the record industry as long as there's been a record industry.
And raised here, yet I seem to care more about preserving the truth than those who have called this place home their entire lives. And that's the real tragedy, isn't it? That those with the most power to protect history are often the ones most eager to erase it. Tell me something, why was I the one to post Lucky Peterson's last performance at Louis Lou Louis in Deep Ellum? Why was it me? Where was everyone else? Where was Erykah? Why doesn't she ever show up to the old blues shows at Fair Park? Not to perform. Not to be the center of attention. Not to take the spotlight. Just to be there. To stand in the presence of something greater than herself, to acknowledge the roots of the very music she profits from, to honor the legends who came before her. But no, that's not how it works, is it?
Can we make albums without a sexual assault involved? Can we make albums without peeping toms looking in girls' green rooms and dressing rooms? Can we make albums without the girls in the videos being sodomized right before they were thrown on camera and told to smile? Otherwise, they were gonna get sodomized again, but sniff this shit and you'll be okay. Like, can we release projects without any of that kind of shit happening? Because right now, if you go back and look at everything that's being exposed, I think it would be fair to say that if albums had to be guaranteed cruelty-free, 75% of most music wouldn't even fucking come out.
I can see that.
Drill records wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
People talking about, I'm bringing down our people. Let's talk about drill music.
Yeah.
Let's make that make sense.
It will never.
You encourage criminal behavior. And then when that's not enough to keep the audiences excited, you encourage barbaric behavior. And then they die, and then they're famous.
I actually was overseas. I had done some demos for a young man, Lenny Kravitz's cousin. He took the demos to the UK. Mervyn Lynn and Jed wanted to sign him, but because of me. And he said, well, they want you to come over here. I said, I'm not interested in being no group with you. So I said, I'll sign a solo deal with Arista UK. Clive came over there and kicked the doors, and once he found out I was over here all this time, he's like, no. I gotta have her over here. So pretty much Clive deboed the situation and brought me back to Arista.
Nice. Okay, we all know Clive Davis, legendary record man.
Right.
Arista Records have had some huge acts.
Yes.
They had another big vocalist on that, female vocalist on that record label, Miss Whitney Houston.
My girl.
I was about to ask you, what was your relationship like with